Peter Rollack, a.k.a. Pistol Pete, was born 1975 in the Bronx, New York. His father, Leonard Rollack, was a drug dealer. He was getting money with Nicky Barnes. His mother, Brenda Rollack, worked at a nearby school. They grew up in the Soundview neighborhood. 13 seven-story buildings is what they called home. Brenda left Leonard when Peter was just 3 years old, basically raising him alone. December 2nd, 1977, Leonard Rollack, along with 10 others, including Nicky Barnes, was convicted of conspiracy to violate federal narcotics law. Rollack and Barnes, and Guy Fisher as well, also received life in prison. Brenda actually did a good job raising Pete on her own. He went to Catholic school throughout his childhood. Once he got to high school, he got influenced. At age 17, Rollack left home and moved in with his friend George Wallace, who he referred to as Unc. In 1993, Rollack reestablished the street gang Sex Money Murder, which was formed in 1987 in Soundview. His schoolmate, David Mullins, who was from Castle Hill Projects, joined the gang as well. Mullins, aka Twin, became the gang's underboss. After a core structure was formed, Pete and his crew started getting money all throughout the Bronx. Pete ended up getting locked up. On the island is where he was sanctioned. Sex Money Murder was now under the UBN. After Pete came home from the island, he had the green light. He started getting money throughout the 5 boroughs. His Bronx roots came in handy when fellow Soundview native Jose Salazar introduced him to his uncle. Hector Salazar was giving Pete the bricks for 17. He was taking them in a minivan to North Carolina and selling them for 35. The orchestrated hit on Twin was alleged to be ordered out of jealousy. On Thanksgiving 1997, during a football game, a gunman opened fire, shooting 5 people and killing 2, in what cops called a possible gang-related attack. The shooting occurred at a housing project at 1704 Randall Ave. After the murder of Twin, things started getting out of control. One of Pete's associates was pulled over on the highway and agreed to testify. Thomas Smart, 27 of the Bronx, New York, was caught with 1 kilo of cocaine in his trunk on I-95 by a state trooper. An investigation was launched. A few months later, Pete was picked up in North Carolina by the FBI. He was charged with a total of 5 murders and narcotics conspiracy. He even got a witness tampering charge for ordering the hit of Twin. When it was all said and done, Pete got life in prison. Being the Godfather, his legacy will live on forever.
Well, it's a gang that goes by the name Sex, Money, Murder. And Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says that's how its members live. But thanks to a major operation, they've dismantled part of that group here in Florida, and at least a dozen of them could be looking at life in prison. Fox 13's Josh Cassio following the story from Polk County, and the sheriff is calling these gang members really dangerous.
You know, Cynthia, he did call them very dangerous people who had really no regard for human life. You know, sex, money, murder, it wasn't just the name of this gang, it was really their mantra or the motto that they lived by. And after more than a year of investigating tonight, at least 41 alleged members of the gang have been either arrested or charged, and likely more is on the way.
This gun will never be used again by a sex, money, murder person.
Pete, almost 50, requested leniency from the judge to get out of solitary confinement before he dies in jail. His request was denied due to his power and influence in the streets. Most of his day ones remain loyal.
It happened and they brought niggas in this area together, you know what I'm saying? Now my sister could walk in the building and they ain't gotta worry about gunshots flying over their head. I don't have no choice but to respect it.
Niggas say if they want about P, he was a good nigga, you know what I'm saying? You look in his face, you'll love to hang around this nigga, you know what I'm saying? It was nothing, no walking around and flipping on niggas and all this shit and all that. Pete never got nothing popping in Shamble. Everything was outside of Shamble. You always want to come back home where you could just sleep on a bench or go anywhere where you feel safe at, you know what I'm saying? So all that shit when niggas did all that dirty shit to him, like that shit was disgusting, man. You know what I'm saying? Niggas know who they are, man.